Today, we're talking about acquisitions once again because we have a new report that claims Ubisoft might be the next major publisher that is targeted for acquisition. So, before we get into this, guys, hit the like button to help the video out and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. This is reading from WCCF Tech, where they say a new report published by Bloomberg suggests that Ubisoft might be the next big publisher targeted for acquisition. According to Bloomberg sources, several private equity firms such as Blackstone Inc. and KKR & Co. have been studying the Ubisoft business. That said, Ubisoft hasn't entered yet into any negotiations, and it's not assured that the major shareholder, chairman, and CEO Yves Guillemot's family would be interested in selling. On the other hand, according to Kotaku, the company has recently tidied up its books with the help of external auditing companies. It could be a sign that Ubisoft is preparing to sell. Buyers are certainly encouraged by the floundering stock price. While today Ubisoft shares are up 4.74%, likely on the heels of these rumors, the stock fell over 40% last year, leading to the market cap of $4.8 billion. Other potential suitors include Microsoft and Sony, even though the former has already been busy enduring regulatory scrutiny on the massive acquisition deal for Activision Blizzard. While the latter is closing the deal to acquire Bungie, both companies are likely far from over with their acquisition sprees, and Ubisoft remains a prized target within the games industry. And so this is where we are when it comes to the acquisition talk surrounding Ubisoft. This is something that a lot of people have been speculating about in the past couple of days. Some people are thinking Microsoft is going to go after Ubisoft. I think it's reasonable to think that because Microsoft seems to want to acquire everybody that they can, but at the same time, I don't think it's very realistic considering where they are right now in terms of just focusing on making sure they can acquire Activision Blizzard and get that deal to go through. A lot of people are thinking maybe Sony would consider this. And, we're a PlayStation channel here, or a PlayStation focused channel. And so to talk about Sony for a minute, I just don't see it happening. I do see some upsides to Sony wanting to acquire Ubisoft. I mean, they're going to get a lot of well-known IP. They're going to get a lot of talent, you would assume, a lot of developers. They're going to get teams that also have experience in live service games. They would be able to do a lot in the movie and TV show space and just kind of do a bunch of transmedia stuff with Ubisoft IP like they're currently doing with their own IP. There are upsides to this, and there are maybe a few reasons why you would consider thinking about Sony when it comes to an acquisition like this, but there are also quite a few downsides. Not only would this be a massive purchase for Sony, so much so that it actually might be somewhat risky. There's a lot of overhead here. They would have to take on a lot of responsibility. They're also going to inherit, similar to what Microsoft is currently doing with Activision Blizzard, the issues, right? The problems that surround Ubisoft that are seemingly not going away. And I just think at the end of the day, a Ubisoft acquisition for Sony doesn't really make that much sense. Again, there are some upsides to it, but when you look at the position that PlayStation Studios is currently in with their own games, their own studios, their own development teams, and their own partners, I just don't know that Ubisoft is one of those publishers that Sony would really feel like, oh, we can't risk losing them, or we need to make them a part of PlayStation. I don't see it happening, but it's worth noting that the report is claiming that equity firms are looking at Ubisoft, but people are also thinking maybe we could see Apple, Facebook, Tencent, so on and so forth, these other big companies that are trying to get more heavily involved in the gaming space, make a bid on Ubisoft. And I think that is another reason why Sony is just not going to get involved. I think Sony is just going to kind of, take a step back and be like, we'll find our own way to, continue growing, and Ubisoft just isn't going to be a part of that. But at this point, I'm going to leave it to you guys. What do you think about the potential of Ubisoft being sold? Who do you think will get them, and what do you think will change? A lot of people think that Ubisoft really just isn't on point these days, and they're not really doing that great. So, I think people get excited at the prospect of whoever acquires them. Maybe they can do something great. Maybe they can really kind of get Ubisoft back to proper form here. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of that. But until next time, guys, take care.